Yeah, welcome back to another Mind the Mic podcast. I'm your host Shubz, here with a special guest. They just finished the vape away, sis. Go hard.
But I
Shawty
had
Pestilence, what's good, sis? How are you? Oh, and we fall over. It's all happening.
I'll
All
set up.
right. How are you anyway, sis? What's goody?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Just trying to get this sorted, eh? There we go. Should be
Sweet,
safe.
sweet.
Yeah, sweet.
Just for anybody that don't know who you are, could you give us a little background on yourself or what you do?
Oh yeah, so I go by Shawty Pestilence. Used to be a rapper, sort of stepping back into the game now.
Yeah.
Yeah, moved to Gizzy recently, but spent most of my music days back in Perth there. So yeah.
Ah, solid. Used to be a rapper. Nah, always a rapper. Eh? Once a rapper, always a rapper.
You try and let go, but you never fully do it. You hear something and you're like, oh, fuck, just one verse. You know, it's always something.
Okay, so where were you born? Let's start there.
So I was born in Perth.
Oh, okay. Born in. When did you first fall over?
My friend's not having it, eh?
Yeah,
And
all
we
goody,
should-
all goody.
Alright, cool.
Kapai, all good.
Yep, we got it this
So
time.
born in Perth. What's the background? What's the heritage?
Or-
Yours, yeah. What's your heritage?
So I'm half Russian, half Māori. So my mother's Māori and my father's Russian.
Okay. Do you speak both or?
So I speak Russian, but not Māori.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
spasibo for coming on. That's it. That's all I got.
That's just there.
Yeah. Give it a crack. And what was life? What was life like growing up in Perth for yourself? What neighborhood did you grow up in, or were you all over the place?
So all over the place. I was actually back and forth between Perth and South Australia, Adelaide. Yeah, every couple of years I was back and forth, so I was never really situated anywhere. But I mean, moving around like that, it wasn't too bad. I think, you know, you switch schools a lot, friends don't stick, but it's nothing like, you know, it's nothing that's bad, I would say. I just enjoyed moving around, to be honest. I still do.
Oh yeah. I hear you. No, I feel you. I didn't stay in the same place till I was 27 for a year, for longer than a year. So I always moved around too when I was a kid. Yeah, till I was 27. Yeah, I think I was 27 years of age when I first lived in a house longer than a year. Yeah, so yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
Like heaps of primary schools and heaps of not so much college has moved. But why did you move? Like, what were you moving between? Like, did your parents have different work, or were you split between them? What was the go there?
Oh, well, my parents had split, but I don't know. My father just liked to move a lot, so we were just constantly moving. But
Oh, so you lived with your father more?
Yeah. So my mother's side was in Perth, WA, and that's why we initially kept going over there every couple of years to see them, and then we'd spend some time and then head back to my Russian side. So it was just a bit all over the place, really.
Oh yeah. Oh, so your dad like actual like Russian, like straight from Vladimir land.
Yeah. So me and my brother were the first generation born out of Russia.
And your brother's Maori too, or?
Yeah. Same mother.
Oh yeah. He rapper as well, or nah? Doesn't.
Nah.
Oh, solid. Where are you? Just you two? That's it, or you've got more siblings?
Yeah, so I've got two younger siblings, but they've got a different father, so they're a bit rusty. I think my sister's nearly 18 and my brother's about 14, just turned 14, something like that.
Yeah. Well, what are you, sis? What's the numbers on the what's the digits on you?
22.
Oh, yeah, that's 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, still young, pup. How long you been back in the great land of the long white cloud?
2 years now. Yeah, 2 years. Fuck, it feels like forever though, to be honest, compared to Australia. But 2 years. But we're heading back to Perth next year sometime. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, just for 2 years and then move again.
Fuck, say.
Yeah. What about you married? You married? Eh?
So I'm engaged.
Engaged.
Yeah, so we're getting married actually at the end of this year. We'll start it next year.
Oh, so that's why then you move back to Perth after that.
Yeah.
Well, what made you go to Gizzy of all places? Are you from there?
No, I'm not from here. My partner's from here.
Oh yeah.
I think we initially came because his parents had moved back here, and I just had my first child, so he wanted to be around them and whatnot. And yeah, so fuck it, we'll just come here. Might as well do it while we're young. Why not? Test it out.
Oh, solid. Just a bit of a reverse one, eh? Bit of a reverse one. Yeah, solid. It's a so. How old was he? So you met in Perth, yeah? Or
Yeah.
so how old was he when you guys moved? I mean, when he moved over, or was he born in
Oh, he was
like
born.
properly?
I'm not too sure at what age he'd moved to Perth. I think maybe somewhere between 7 and 9, something like
Oh, yeah.
that. Not too sure exactly.
What's the love story? How did you meet?
Oh my. So okay, so I was actually best friends with his younger brother throughout high school.
Okay.
I knew that my mate had an older brother, but he was, I don't know, he was just never there. Like I never officially met him.
Oh.
And then I just moved back to Perth from South Australia. I think I would have been there maybe 2 weeks, something like that. And it was New Year's, and I was like, oh fuck, go to the club, you know, do something different. And I go out there, and then I seen this fellow walk past. I was like, fuck, that looks familiar. And I was stuck there with people I didn't know. So I was like, oh, there's got to be someone from school, you know, someone. And he sort of looked like my mate. And I was like, oh, go say hi. I was like, Chebro, are you so-and-so's brother? I was like, Shane. But yeah, that's sort of how that kicked off. And then, yeah, we started hanging out after that because he used to rap as well.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so he stopped sort of what we so I'd say that's what we bonded over. We used to spit bars together, and yeah, just kicked off from there.
You spat other things, eh? Hear the boss. Salute to the brother. Is he still rapping or nah? Is he like you sort of?
Nah, he doesn't do it anymore. I think he was saying not that long ago, he's like, oh, I only used to keep doing it because you done it. I was like,
oh, my man, yeah, that's a smart man, man. Because you're into it. He's like, that's how I stay with him, kind of kick it with mumsy, eh? I like it. Solid. What's the cultural differences you would say between Gizzy and Perth?
I'd say there's a lot. Hey, I think
Give us some.
It's really Māori orientated over here, as you would expect, being New Zealand, you know. But
well,
yeah,
hopefully.
But there's a lot of holidays regarding like Māori culture and stuff like that here, which obviously we don't have in Australia. A lot of the school curriculum's based off Māori culture as well, whereas in Australia, obviously, you don't get that of any culture really.
Yeah, not even the indigenous really.
And nothing, yeah, you don't get any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I think, and just general people is a big difference over here. I find there is, and I'm not trying to mean anything when I say this, but I find there's a lot more general respect in the people over here than what you'd come across in public in Australia. And I've heard that I'd say generally people are a bit more polite here in certain situations.
Polite? Yeah. What do you reckon that is?
Honestly, I don't know. I think it's connected to the fact that most people here are so involved in cultural beliefs and certain mannerism and that, and it's obviously it's put through the schooling and everything like that. So you're taught to conduct yourself in a certain way in certain situations with certain people, you know, whereas that's not necessarily taught to the youth back in Australia. So I feel like they carry that onto adulthood, and then, you know.
Interesting. I never thought of it that way. I guess it's different when you grow up at home and then coming here as a teenager. That's an interesting assessment, especially from someone that's grown up over here. Because had you been to Aotearoa before you moved, or?
Yeah, so I've been a couple of times. So my family's from Whangarei, like from up north.
Oh, up the north.
Yeah, so this is the lowest I've been over here, and
Wait. Lowest, are you okay? Do you want to talk about it?
No.
No. You mean geographically? Yeah.
But yeah, so I've never been past Auckland prior to this, so it's a big, even like the space between Gisborne and Auckland, I feel like there's a big difference. Like, yeah,
way different. Just even Auckland and Whangarei, everything in Auckland is different. It's all different. Yeah, 100%. If you could explain where you live to someone from Perth and they ask you, like, or maybe the tourism board of of the East Coast wanted you to, promote Gizzy, how would you what would you say in like one sentence? How would you explain it?
To be honest, I personally have to promote Gizzy to myself still. Like, but that's no, yeah, I love the place, but when you come from Australia, there's a big difference. There's a lot of adjusting you have to some ways like this. But if I had to sum it up briefly for people back there, it's basically like another small city that's maybe, closest to your country town. So how do I explain it? So like we're over there. So I'll use Adelaide references. So like I lived in a place called Hamley Bridge, and that was like 20-30 minutes from the nearest big shopping centre and food markets and stuff like that. So it's sort of like an isolated, I'd say Gizzy's pretty isolated compared to everywhere else. Like we're quite cut off here.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't except for it's like another little country town in Australia. But so we got the coast, you've got the beaches, you got the surfing. It's good, but unfortunately I haven't been able to experience it yet because we haven't had a proper summer here since I've come. It's been raining all the time, so it's like I've really missed experiences. So
you take the rain there, did you? No.
Had it all since I've come. I was like, bro, I was told as over here, haven't seen that once.
The hectic flooding and all that, and there's what was it called there? All that, bro, that was crazy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, true that. Were you all right? Were you or?
Oh yeah, we were all good, but Gisborne as a whole, a lot of people they copped it pretty bad. Like we know people where they've lost, big spaces of their land or parts of their houses and that, and it's like it's crazy to think how something. I mean, it was a big storm, but just to see the effect it actually had on people in Gisborne was crazy. Like we had about 2 weeks, we had no communication, we had no power, we had no water. Like it was pretty hectic here. And then for ages, even after that, because the main pipes had burst all the way up from Auckland, our water wasn't safe to drink. We couldn't shower in or anything, so everyone had to buy bottled water from the shop just to shower and drink.
So did you have a shower or did you have a wash on there?
A bucket going, like
yeah.
But yeah, that's the best we could do because everything was contaminated just by those pipes. So pretty ratchet.
It also shows how fragile the world we live in is, right? Like if like all of the shit that we're used to, turning the tap on, going to get food from the supermarket, can all be taken away like that. And if you don't grow up like, I don't know if your man's whānau mahi kai, or if you did when you were growing up in Adelaide, but like, we grew up that way. So like I always thought like if any apocalypse ever came, like it'll be easy to just go back to that because that's how we grew up. You know what I mean? But a lot of people, especially if you're like, obviously Gizzy's rural sort of services a lot of rural areas, but it's country itself, like you said. But over here, it's like in like these cities where people have come from Europe, and then even in Europe, they lived in cities for hundreds of years. It'll be a culture, like a huge shock to people's systems if that shit happened to them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, crazy. So how long did that go for? Was that 2 weeks like that, or how long until you actually got water?
So it was on and off for a period of time because we were actually use other towns' water supply, and then let's say for like a day or two, they'd put our water back on and say, "Yeah, sweet as," and then a couple of days later or the next day, we'd all get sent out the you get like, you know, that not amber alert, but you know, that alarm message on your phone.
Yeah.
They're like, don't drink the water, don't use water. So it was on and off for about 2 weeks, and then eventually it came on again, safe for everyone to use.
Fuck, even Saturday, like, even when I remember seeing the video of the old Urupa just getting washed away.
Yeah.
That's ruthless, G. Landslide and all. I mean, I guess the Tupunas don't think about that. Like, you know, back in the days when they when they're burying people back in the days, you know, when you got, I think anything if you live on the coast anywhere, you gotta, that's as beautiful as it can be. You also gotta prepare for that kind of stuff or be aware.
Yeah, definitely 100%.
Shawty Pestilence, where's the name come from?
So, okay.
Are you tall?
No, I'll get to that part. So when I was born, initially my father had named me Pestilence, and then my grandparents found out about that and were not happy. So for those who don't know what pestilence means, it's one of the 4 horses of the apocalypse. So it's like plague, famine, death of all things. So obviously they were not impressed with that. And when I was thinking of a name, like a couple people back in school used to call me Pestilence, just, you know, shits and gigs. And then it wouldn't let me use it on Instagram, and I couldn't figure it out. I changed the spelling and everything. And then I later on realized that Pestilence is a metal band or something, somewhere, wherever, I don't know. So obviously I had to change it again, and I didn't want to change Pestilence. And I was like, fuck, you know, what else describes me? I was like, I'm sure. And he knows me in person, like I'm not even 5 foot, you know.
Oh, really? Oh, that's all.
Yeah, like I'm small. I'm like 4'10", something like that.
Holy Rick. How tall's the bro?
I don't know. And that's the thing, like people ask me, how tall's this, how tall's that person? Like when you're this small, everything looks tall.
4'10", holy Rick. Is that like, where does that come from? Like, was your mum short or your dad short? Because Russian usually not, eh?
No, both sides were like short hairs. Like my grandma, my mum's maybe 5 foot.
What Russia does your dad come from? Like, because also people forget Russia's fucking huge. They're like, well, whereabouts in Russia they come from?
So, I'm actually not too sure 100% where my grandmother was initially from, but my father was born in Latvia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. My grandmother never really spoke too much about anything to do with over there. She just brought her kids to Australia, and that's all we knew, really.
Who do you look like more, mum or dad?
Mum. I'd say if you put me between my 2 parents, definitely my mother. Like, okay. Yeah.
What's your mum's name? Can we shout your mum out or no?
You mean you can if you like, Crystal.
Hey, shout out Crystal, eh? Oh, what about your dad? What's his name?
Bitcher.
Huh?
Bitcher.
Bitcher or huh? How do you say
it? With a V.
Oh, sorry, brother. Sorry, shout out to Uncle Bitcher. My bad, cuz. Oh, I missed you. Holy Rick. Not the Bitcher. My bad. Yeah, my bad. There must be a storm on just because you keep cutting in and out. So I don't know if it's me or you know. But oh, true. Yeah. Did they forget to turn the internet back on?
Nah, things have got Wi-Fi is not good over here. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I concur. Especially in the old country bumpkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100. Have you been back to Whangarei since you've been there or not?
No, I haven't been back. I do. My partner's never been up there, so I want to take him up there.
Yeah, before you come back, surely, eh?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to make that trip. We just haven't found that opportunity to, I guess.
What are you doing back there for the almighty dollar?
So me, I'm nothing at the moment. I'm just the stay-at-home mom. But my partner, an electrician.
That's everything, sis. What do you mean? Stay-at-home mom, that's hearty. I looked after my kids for 2 years straight, G. Like, you know, sun up, sun down, cuz. Bro, that's hectic, cuz. There's 3 of them too, bro. Fuck, that's hectic ass.
Yeah,
that's fucking... Don't let nobody tell you that ain't fucking my G. That's hearty. That's way... Bro, that's hearty.
Yeah,
I bet you... Hey, fucking, you'd rather be an electrician than most people. Holy freaking! How many followers got?
Just the 2.
Oh, solid. Any more on the way? So
Not yet. At some point, I think I was thinking about maybe one more before I head back to Aussie, because then at least like they'll be getting to that age where we can sort of go out all together without me having to stay home and like, maybe.
Cause I'll tell you now, sis, 3 is fucking worse, huh? 3 is way worse than 2. 2 is life, huh? 2 is life. 3 is not the one, cuz. But shout out to my 3 little G's. Straight up. Just keep it at 2, cuzzy, if you wanna keep some mental health. No, take it. No, what's it?
Not much left, so I might as well just go all the way.
All the way. Get a 15, hey, let's get a rugby team in. Oh.
Yeah. My cut off there.
No, cut off there. Oh, solid. Yeah. And what, you got a boy and girl or?
Yeah, so I had my son first and then my daughter.
Yeah, cracked it. Yeah, that's what I reckon. Straight up.
Actually, great, I got one of each, so I'm pretty sorted.
Yeah, I'm pretty sorted. You getting clucky already?
No, not me. My partner wants another one.
No, the baby. All good for the baby. He doesn't have to do all that.
But nah.
Yeah. Nah, solid. Cool. Kids are the bomb. They like the meanest blessing. I just want to say to anybody that says, fuck, when my kid was born, it was the most magical moment, bruv. None of my kids being born was magical, G. It was crazy. But it's magical after. Well, for me, anyway, I was thinking, for the mother, too, for mum, she's like, holy Rick.
Yeah, well,
hell? Poor girl.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, wait till your son meets the baby. It's going to be a magical moment. Catch it on camera. Bro, I caught that shit on camera. My son goes up and he's like, oh, baby. Smack. And I'm like,
yeah. Even those ones when they say like, just when you see like all kids are beautiful. That's not true, because some kids look like aliens, but that's all right. You know what I mean? We love them all. But mine didn't look like aliens, grateful. but some kids do.
Funny face when they come out and you're like, hey. But you love them. Then they grow. Of course. They look more human.
Who was your who were your like musical influences growing up in Adelaide, Perth, Whangarei?
So my main, my number one main was definitely Wu-Tang. Like, for me, Wu-Tang is like religion to me. I used to listen to the whole 36 Chambers every single morning without a doubt. Like, I only stopped that recently, like when I had kids.
True.
They don't.
Oh, is that where you get, like, because you like your bars are like, they different than like, all these aunties out here, they different, man. When I hear them, I'm like, hey, she rap. Yeah, like, I love bars too. I ain't a rapper, I just love bars. But I'll be like, oh, she rap. Yeah. She be rapping her ass off.
Hey. Yeah, I think a lot of it was like, not just as a whole, but as each individual member on what they had to offer, their own unique style, and how that just came together. And listening to it that much, you got nothing else to do but study. Study their work, how they project themselves and shit like that. So it was definitely the main one. Was Wu-Tang. But aside from that, it was KRS-One, Ice-T.
All right. It's 22 or 52. Holy Rick. Yeah. How did you get into it? Like, was your dad into rap? Mom, what's the go?
So my dad was right into the music, which is initially how I was put onto that music as a kid. And I think,
is he like an Aussie, or like is he like Russian? Like, how old is he when he moved here?
I'm not too sure how old he was. I think he was in his teens somewhere.
Oh, true. Like, so does he still got a twang, or is he here? Yeah, mate.
It's a bit touch and go. Like, I haven't seen him for like over 10 years. But yeah.
Whatever.
We just, I'll board it up. A shit parent's a shit parent. And if you're best to not be with them, then that's what the case be.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
no, I didn't have mine at all. I got same. Yeah.
gosh, I was like, well, I'll answer the question, but yeah, to sum it up, not everyone's meant to be a parent. Put it nice.
Yeah, it's easy to make kids, but it doesn't mean you're gonna raise them, or you don't mean you should.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but
Heaps of people out here, like, because kids are the biggest blessing, but they be getting heaps of kids, and I'll just be like, fuck no. You know what I mean? Like, you should not be a parent. But anyway.
yeah, no. Too often, way too often, that's for sure.
100. Oh, so who did you grow up with then? Your grandparent?
So I grew up with my father, and then after that, I was basically on my own from. It was touch and go. I was with someone who was on my own. Yeah, I was back and forth.
Yeah. Bro, we like the same cousin. We must be cousins or something. Yeah, we're like, bro, I'm the same, G, like 13 or something like that.
Yeah, like you're on your own or you're with someone for a period of time.
Exactly. We homies. I feel like it. That's it. Fucking if same vibes.
Yeah.
And so were they just different, like friends, like parents or friends or cousins or something like that, or?
Yeah, it was I'd say I mostly had one relative that would end up with nose breaks, so that was my auntie, which was my mum's sister.
Oh, okay. Māori side.
Yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of jumping around. I don't know how to sum it up for you, to be honest.
Nah, you didn't have to sum it up because I understand. Like,
yeah.
People ask me the same shit, like, and I'm not trying to steal your thunder. I'm just like literally, I can relate like fully to what you're saying because like people ask me, so when did this happen? And I'll just be like, oh, this, and then like you lived where and here, and I'm like, bro, like literally, like every fucking way, like
Yeah.
I like I actually fully understand it. And when you touched on you didn't have like friends, all the like that you were 5 years old, or like you didn't say 5 years old, but those childhood friends that you've just grown up with together. Yeah, I'm the same. I could never relate to that. I mean, I thought it was cool though, like that people had those. I was like, that must be cool to have those homies that you go back to and like, fuck yeah, remember when we were 5? Like, fuck it now, I had like 20 different mates by then, into like freaking. Yeah, nah, I feel you, sis. Actually. Yeah. How you about that? All that stuff there, you right?
Yeah, sweet as. I mean,
yeah,
like it just doesn't faze me. I mean, you can either go two ways. I mean, you can have a sook about it, or you can do something about it.
That's it.
I'm the sooky type. Like I'm just. It is what. At the end of the day, you're gonna wake up tomorrow. So.
Well, you might not, but either way, give it a crack, right?
Got a good chance.
Yeah, good chance.
Yeah. So it's just why dwell on the past? Why dwell on yesterday?
Yeah, I like that. Sis. I like that. Yeah. I try to take the same leaf. Just fuck it. At the end of the day, we can't change what the fuck's happened, bro. You know what I mean? Are we gonna sit here and cry about it forever, or we're gonna move on? And try and make tomorrow better, and try and be the antithesis of what we grew up with. You know what I mean? And yeah. But there's heaps of I do find in the journey though of I'll be like, oh shit, that's something I gotta unlearn. Here and there. I'm like fucking these things, especially as a parent, hey.
Yeah, you don't actually realize how many things you pick up, whether that be traits, dialect, or habits. Like you don't realize how much you pick up along the way until you start doing that reflecting process. And kids are really that reflection for you.
Yeah.
Change that, or maybe we should.
Yeah.
That out completely.
Yeah, cut that out completely. Yeah. It's like fucking out shit. When when you have the kids there, you're like you want to be different, but then like shit happens, and then it's their fight or flight, and then sometimes you go back to like what you were showing. I'm like, oh nah, that ain't it. Even a big one for me is in like I don't know if you got these ones, but you just get a crack and you don't even know what you got a crack for. Like, hey, you know what I mean? It's like still don't know 30 years later. Like, what do I get a crack for? You know what I mean? Like those ones I want to change. Like so, like if I ever ground my children, I always like tell them why and explain why and why it wasn't, and also trying not to just go off just because you're mad, like anyway, like just try to separate your feelings from being a
Yeah.
parent, which is
My son,
hard.
he's hectic, love the boy, but he's hectic, and I just boy, and I often have to remind myself, like, he's a kid, like I'm getting annoyed and frustrated at someone who doesn't quite understand the same concept as how I'm perceiving things. And it's like, I actually wish I could be like that, just have fun, jump off shit, do whatever.
Literally, fucking if.
I need to get, to get worked up about it. So yeah, I often find myself doing that, having to reflect and remind myself, like, these are children,
Yeah, but at least you're doing it, sis. You know what I mean? You could just carry on the fucking same shit. So, you know what I mean? You're giving it a crack at least. Good on you. Yeah, pat yourself on the big back that you have, the big tall back. You know what I mean? Give it a pat, sis. What's that?
The big 410. You're right.
Yeah, the big 410. Hey, not the 420, 410, baby. 420, yay or nay?
Yeah. Nah, not anymore.
Nah.
Back in the day, fuck yeah, like that was religiously with that as well, But since having kids, nah. Like I stopped when I got pregnant, and then you try since that, and it's just not the same way. I get paranoid. Like I get paranoid about my breathing. Like, is my kid knows? Like, where I get stressed out, something like that. I can't. Not while they're this young. I feel like if they get, might be a different story, because they can, they can take care of themselves a little, but nah, no way in hell.
Drinks us?
Pardon?
You drink?
No.
No. Never? Or used to?
I know. In all honesty, I'd say I was probably borderline alcoholic when I was young.
True. Yeah.
And I think I was 18 when I quit drinking. Yeah, I was 18 when I quit drinking.
Smart decision, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. I think drinking and smoking, best decision I ever made, to be honest. Financially, physically, mentally,
Yeah.
You don't realize how much those things actually impact your day-to-day life and your functioning until you stop. Like,
it's the worst drug too, like, because it's fucking promoted everywhere. You know what I mean? It's promoted everywhere, like it's just part of the culture. You know what I mean? Like, but like you can have fun without it. I mean, like I don't care. Like I haven't had a drink for a couple months, but pretty much I ain't opposed to it. But you know what I mean? Like I do understand that, cause what actual good, but like you can have a good time, but every day, the next day, or maybe a couple days later, if you charge, like you're fucked. You know what I mean? Like you're fucked. You fucking feel like mud. Fucking sometimes regretting what you done because you didn't have no control.
Yeah,
like,
and
yeah.
Be like, if you just don't stop drinking, you won't get the hangover. Like, and realistically, that's not the case. But that was my train of thought back then. I was like, if I just keep going another couple of days, but fuck yeah, my bro, 5. Like, how are you still kicking it doing that?
Yeah, you know what I think? Do you remember that song, "Wasted Days and Wasted Nights"? Wait, I hear that song because I used to play at so many parties and stuff when I was growing up, and even parties that I was a part of. I'm thinking, when I think about it now, I'm like, even if if I do go out, and which I've probably had like 5 drinks since my daughter's born. She's 4 now. I've probably had like 5 since then, and then I couldn't even carry those on. Like I could. Like if I wanted to carry on, but then I'm like, fuck, what am I doing? Like I'd rather just be at home with my kids or go and do something with them. You know what I mean? It's like fucking bendering for 5 days, cause what am I up to?
Yeah, initially getting into like, oh, it's fun, gets me out of the house, whatever. Then you just hit that point, you're like, fuck, all I want to be is in the house. Like,
in the house.
Like, I want to get masked.
Yeah. What about the brother? Does he get on the piss?
Nah.
Nah.
I mean, 1 or 2 once a blue moon, not blonde.
So you haven't had a drop since you were 18?
Oh no, I mean I've had 1 or 2 every.
Oh yeah, but you just haven't been on it since then.
Yeah, I think since I was 18, I've drunk maybe 3 times. So yeah, And even then, it's been like 1 or 2 drinks. I'm just not the same. I mean, I had one night where I was like, yeah, I'm going to hit the piss. But my second can, like, nah. Like, not doing this. It's not me.
It ain't me. Yeah, fair enough. Solid. What's the plan? So you plan on like you want to try and work on some music, or when you come back to Perth, or you working on some now,
I
or
mean,
you
it's
sort of
nothing solidified for me in terms of music. Like,
okay.
love it, it's my passion, it's whatever. But and this is my way of thinking, like, music's not going to pay my bills. Music's not going to feed my kids.
Oh, you
You know,
never know. Nick Monday. Oh shit, I was wrong.
I invest for that reward. But yeah, without a doubt, I love it. I mean, I've got a couple of features and whatnot coming up.
Oh, so you record them? Will you record this?
I record them on my phone. Like, I've got my headphones. These ones here, I'll show you. My iPhone headphones.
Like that.
Yeah, like, because I don't have
What do you record them onto?
So there's like this app. What's it called? BandLab, and you can place the beat onto the app, record your vocals over.
Oh. So that one with dialect, like that he sent me of you, that like, did you do that like that?
Yeah, just like that. But that track wasn't initially for dialect, so I don't properly know dialect up until recently.
Oh,
so,
true.
So someone had reached out to me, a producer, Dead Set, and he's like, oh yeah, like, you're dope. Send him some stuff, and he's like, oh, I've got a verse on this track. Can you do a thing? I was like, yeah, it's a good change from looking after kids all day. So I was like, fuck it, hop on there. He's like, oh yeah, I showed my mate dialect. He likes it, blah blah blah. He wants to hop on. So I was like, yeah, sweet, do what you guys want, your track, whatever. And then from there, sort of is how me and dialect, started conversating about future tracks and whatnot. I mean, we've got a couple other things lined up. I just hopped on the extended version of his single, The Click, that's coming out.
Oh, true. You just hopped on the extended. Let's go. Yeah. We did. Was it the part of the clip, because part of the clip filming and interviewed, I podcasted all the artists besides yourself. But now I guess we're doing that now. All the artists. We did like a. Oh, was it? I can't hear. Sorry, I must be cutting you off.
Oh no, it's all good. I did see that you were there interviewing them. That was pretty dope, hey?
Yeah, it was that, bro. It was trippy too, because I think they all thought that I had been doing it for years. Like, I started this in January, since I launched the podcast in January. Like, this will be like episode 200 and something by the time it comes out. But
Crazy.
but like, yeah, I did it in January. But I guess I've been preparing for it my whole life. It's been a 5-year plan. But when we sat down, because that was the first time, everything's all been over Zoom except for like the fam that jump on with me here. Like, everything else has been all over like Zoom style, or like StreamYard, like this. And when I sat down with him that time, it was trippy too, because I didn't know how it was gonna work. Dialect was like, oh, let's just do it like a scene and just turn the stuff on, and we'll just run it like that. And but then I just pushed record, and then everyone sat down, and then everyone sat down, and I just started talking, and then everyone's like, "Oh, you did it!" Like, it was like, "You fucking been doing it for years." I was like, "No, that's the first time I've ever talked to that many people." It was like 9, and then I even got his mum and his sister to jump on too for yarn. But yeah, that was pretty cool. And what I like is what Dialect's trying to do for the Perth scene. I think it's cool, and with what I'm trying to do, like, I'm trying to build the biggest podcast in the world, which sounds crazy, right? Like, this is Māori boy up to, but I mean, if you're not shooting for the top, what are we up to?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I want to like line those things up and help, put everyone on that wants to come. You know what I mean? All the pref artists, and obviously, you're still in that mold from your little phone. But yeah, and then as this grows, hopefully you can. This why I've interviewed quite a lot of the fam, and you're another one from that scene. But try and create a space where, because I want to take this around the world. I want to do a touring podcast and all that kind of shit with all our shows that we do on the podcast, and then have a show like music and stuff after, or even to open it up, whatever. We'll figure that out. But so Yeah, and I'm Dialect's actually working on the theme song for the podcast itself right now, I think, or at the moment. So
Yeah.
yeah. Might as well. I've been in Perth for minutes. Just like keep some off on here. Like for me, this is home at the moment. You know what I mean? It's been, I love this place for a long time. Obviously from Aotearoa, but all my kids are all born here. I'm fucking been here for years. So yeah,
Yeah.
why not? Why not help Perth out if I can?
Yeah. Definitely dope. Just seeing like with yourself and Dialect train together. Like when I seen Dialect come up with a click, I was like, fuck, that's dope, because I know a few of those artists individually as mates, like, we go back a couple years. And then to see everyone come together for the one track, and then even for me seeing another female artist on there, I was like, fuck, that's dope.
Yeah, Sudo. Yeah, shout out Sudo.
Because like when I was cruising around doing music, I never found another female artist, and I was always looking. I was like, there's got to be one, like, but I never found one. So then to see her pop up on that, I was like, yeah, like that's what I want to see, and then see everyone come together and to just do what they do best on that track. Like it's fucking dope, all the different styles coming together. It's like that's what Perth needs, it needs that unity to represent to people. Because you hear like individual artists, but to get them all together is like, it's something you want to be there for, something you want to watch. Like,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because I was having my brother-in-law, he does music as well, and he was saying like, no, over here, like, it's weird you don't support each other. Everyone's got that sort of beef trying to be better than you. And I was like, bro, in Perth, like, it's different. And then I was telling him about the click, and I was like, everyone's coming together over there, and it's fucking dope. It's dope to see. It's dope to hear the products of that coming together. And it's like, I don't know. It's just really cool. Like I can't express how cool it actually is. And then to be part of that, I was like, fuck yeah, because I'm sort of like.
Fuck, you should come over for the album release. Yeah, come over for quick stop, over.
And I was like, fuck, wish I could be there. Because, like, for me, I'm sort of like, I'm that ghost artist. Like, I'm there and people know of me, but I don't put anything out. Type of thing. And I haven't for a very long time. That's why, when you reached out, I was like, hey, like, I was like, what? I was like, I don't do nothing these days. Like, I don't do music. But I was like,
yeah, it was Dialect that put me on. Because he was like, bro, she's Māori, I'm pretty sure. I was like, oh, yeah. Because I just said to him, like, oh, really? Like, I hear what he wants to do and what he was doing with the click, but what he wants to do in general with the Perth scene. And I really see him as someone that just really wants to show love to the city. And you know what I mean? Like, and then with what we're trying to do out here, why not? And help it all grow together. I said to even just it's just crazy, just it's cool. And like you said, a lot of people have that crabs in a bucket mentality, like you got to get yours and you go get your own, you know what I mean? But if you look at anything that's successful and like anyone that's truly successful, like true movements that are successful around the world, they all collaborate. Even all CEOs, all those motherfuckers collaborate. Like people be thinking like, oh, these companies are in competition, but they all have think tanks together, or like, you know what I mean? There's so much shit that goes on, like collaborating. You know what I mean? You think even people look at like someone like Elon Musk and be like, obviously there's conspiracies behind all the rest of it, but just look at PayPal, for example. People are like, oh, but in PayPal, the people that created PayPal with him, all those dudes, it wasn't just Elon, all those dudes went on to be CEOs in their own right of different companies and stuff like that. Like, that's just one example, but I think collaboration is key to success,
Yeah, definitely.
And hard. Yeah, no, I think it's cool. And it's cool like that he does, 3 and A, him and his brothers as well. I think that's cool as well. That whole but the fact that he wants to put on Perth artists, you know what I mean? Because like, Dialect could just go to the US and go get another collaboration, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't have to reach out to the city. Yeah. But that's cool.
Yeah, that's one thing I definitely appreciated about him. Like, as I said, I'm like sort of that ghost artist that's there, but not their type of a thing. And that brief he's giving me opportunities, he's mentioning me to people such as yourself, and it's like, bro, I appreciate that, and I appreciate what you're doing for not just me, but the other people, because you see those opportunities, and to pass them on, it speaks lengths about an individual,
Yeah, I think so too. And when I seen that, because that's at the end of the day, like, the top's gonna be so much better when you're with a lot of homies that if you all rise together. So like, that's what I see. And yeah, speaking of pseudo chick, I sat down with her last night too. It was good, young. It was good,
Yeah.
young. But yeah, I just see it like this. Like, come on, obviously he's all your own artist, but like, come on and talk about you. Let people, because eventually people are gonna want to know. You know what I mean? Like, and then as this grows, you know what I mean. People can always go back and look, or people will get to know. Like one day, someone like LeBron will sit on this podcast. You know what I mean? And it'll be shared with like, and I'll still let on people that don't have a platform. They have cool stories. You know what I mean? Like, maybe LeBron himself doesn't, but that caliber of celebrity, I guess you'd say. You know what I mean? To share stories, and that's my facade or my idea is like we grow up with Aristotle, Plato, Homer. All these guys are put on a pedestal as like the greatest philosophers of all time or of ancient times, anyway. But our people, especially like the down under, but you being Maori on Maori, Pacifica people, our people were traversing the great oceans before the Greeks could read and write. You know what I mean? Using the stars. So, they
Yeah.
got cool stories too and cool people. That doesn't make us bitter. It just shows that like we could, and I think through this again, put our people on too, and the people of even this land. The Dreamtime brothers and sisters, which there's a couple on the track, and Dialect is one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so flip the whole narrative, and with the power of the internet, we can, like, we can
Yeah.
put out this to the whole world, and you could be like, my music ain't gonna nick minute. Let's say if this whole podcast goes viral tomorrow, and this episode someone picks it up and someone goes, "Who's this lady?" and they look you up and they're like, "Oh shit, she got boss." You know what I mean? You just never know.
It's so accessible these days, definitely with the internet. So yeah, you never know. That's the thing.
Yeah, but the cool thing is that you love it, that it's your passion, you enjoy it, and I like that you're like, fuck it, I didn't even know you was just doing it from your phone. That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's the thing is Dialect's like he was talking. I was on the phone to him the other day, and I told him he's like, well, your audio is a bit, it needs to be clearer. And I said straight up, like you can hear my kids screaming in the background. I was like, I'm recording on my phone right now, and that's why it's not the best quality, but I can get it to the best I can. But definitely the people on the other end, mix and mastering my vocals, like props goes to them, because I can tell you one thing, it does not sound like that when I send it.
but you know what's cool is it's cool that you're just in you're in your own environment. You know what I mean? It's as raw as you're gonna get. So that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to whoever mastered that shit.
Yeah, like I like that sound, but then I understand that shit needs to sound clean. Like it needs to be clean and clean, actually make out what people are up to instead of just being like, nah, that's all good. I like it like that, Like, it's not always up to my preferences, but I do, as I said, like props to the people on the other end, because I'm amazed that some stuff they cleaned up for me. Like
yeah, solid. What's the plan for the rest of the year besides married next year or January? Any plans for the rest of the year?
I mean, try and plan that wedding. Look, aside from planning the wedding, not much. Hey, just focus on my kids. Yeah, not much to it. I've always been like very child orientated. So now that I've got my own, it's like that's my job in the home is to take care of their house and make sure my kids' every needs are met and exceeded in every way. So that's my only focus, to be honest. Like,
That's a solid focus. The best focus. Yeah, that's on. Hey, I got a couple of questions before we get out of here, if that's okay. If you could have one meal for the rest of your life, which meal do you choose?
Sure. Single meal. Nothing particular, anything with meat, to be honest. Like,
Oh yeah, no vegans here, eh?
well, I think anything with meat, I can't particularly pinpoint a meal.
I like it. Anything with meat. All right then. What are you washing it down with?
Water.
Water.
Yeah.
Up the water. I like it. That's good. Superpower. If you could have any superpower, which one would you choose? And maybe even create one if you want to.
Fuck, I wouldn't even know about creating one. That's something I'd have to sit there and actually put thought in. But straight off my head, I'd say teleportation.
Yeah, why?
Because like
So you could come on the Augustine. No, but you can do so much.
I would figure, if I could be cheering, but I mean, it's not just the fact that I could go where I wanted. It's like, man, if I was in like a really shit situation and I just like couldn't be fucked hearing people, didn't want to be there, I'd just put out. I'd be like, bye. Laters. Yeah, you could go like, or you could do anything. I feel like you're not that limited with it. It's not a limiting superpower.
Yeah, I'm with you. Oh, that's always mine. But
Yeah.
mine would be like a teleportation, but you could go back in time or forward in time if you wanted to. You know what I mean? That kind of shit. So you could do both. You could teleport around the world, have breakfast and lunch and dinner in different places, but also good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So going back to era, what era would you go back to by your choice?
You first.
I don't know. So I'm a big fan of the industrial era.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'd say.
Where you going, Henry Ford?
The Aztecs mines. Anywhere back there, I'd like to go back.
When you say Mayas, though, like, are you going like pre-conquistadors, or are you going post, or like, or like when they arrive, like around the?
I want to say pre, but then I'm like, to be honest, I'll be happy with anything. Anywhere back there, I'd be like, just to be amongst that, those civilizations would be like a massive learning.
I think so too. That would be pretty cool, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I would always I'd like to just follow our people through the migration and see like, so where do we truly I guess we originate from one source way back, but that would obviously be an obvious one to go back to the start of human creation and see if Adam and Eve were real, or you know what I mean. And then I guess then you go along that vein and it's like, oh, I'd go back to fucking Bethlehem and see if Jesus was even real, you know what I mean? And then or then go to ancient Egypt where Horus was and see if he was real, or go to Thoth the Atlantean and see if he was real, because all of those dudes, their stories sound the same, but just thousands of years apart. So like, what is, But yeah, for me, probably like we could choose so many different ones, go ancient Egypt, whatever. Go back and see if Atlantis where it actually was, whatever. But yeah, probably just follow our people's like migration journey from when we actually, I guess, branched off from other Polynesians, or if we came from another side, and like maybe the Usos came from another side, just to figure all that out would be cool, just to be interesting. Like maybe we go back to that time, maybe we go back to like the Inca, Nick Minute, that was us, we just gapped, I don't know. Because we do have the Kumara and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which comes from, from Peru.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so just follow that, like do we live in, because we obviously, I don't know if you've seen the Rapa Nui people, the Rapa Nui people?
No.
The East Island people, Rapa Nui is the original name, but yeah, they call it East Island, those big heads. So those people, they speak like a similar language to Māori, and they're like governed by Chile, the country, but you look Māori, same like the Tahitians do, and the cookies. So like they're like, oh, like we're all actual cousins, like not that long ago, and you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then part of me is like, oh, go back to pre-European and just bring them all the bombs so they can shoot them all away. But then, like, obviously I wouldn't exist because I got a bit of Scottish in me and stuff. But I just think that. What's that? What'd you say? Yeah, but this whole episode, every time if I talk at the same time as you, which obviously it happens,
yeah,
like because we're delayed anyway, like it like cut your audio off. I don't know why.
Oh wait, my turn.
Oh yeah, I should have fucking wait my turn. It's your podcast, bro. If you could have so did you choose? That's it, just Maya? You're good, Maya Aztec times?
No, I still gotta say the industrial era.
Yeah, where though? Industrial America, industrial UK, industrial France. Like, where you going?
Specifically France, London, because I've just got a fascination with. Man, I've just got a fascination with everything with that era, just to see how certain, like, how do I explain it? To be honest, I just want to see how the fuck people put 2 and 2 together to get what they did. To be honest, like to really change and create an evolution like that. Like what was the thinking behind these people? You know, like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I'm more interested in people's thinking than the actual result of the revolution or era.
Yeah. Mind state, paradigms and like systems, how people created the systems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is more interesting than the actual thing of how to delving into the minds of people. And
Yeah.
I think that's bang on. I think that's very smart too, how they, from John D. Rockefeller to creating the Western school system, which still exists today, hasn't changed. Like how people are just brainwashed to sit down, shut up, put your hand up when you want to speak, line up, fucking ding, like an assembly line, like it's literally made for robots to create robots. Like, and people like, I don't know if you finished school, but I didn't. Like people like us, they don't. If you didn't, or you know what I mean, like people like myself anyway, that don't finish school, or school but never really was the fucking best thing for me. Like didn't fit into that system, you know what I mean? Challenging. I don't know. I just find it's also makes sense how not only from the industrial era, but how they created that shit and just fucking like excelled throughout the fucking 1900s, into now, like and then obviously a lot of factories moved to Asia, and now the Chinese, because their middle class has risen so much, they doing a lot of stuff in Africa now, like the new China is Africa, and you know what I mean, how they deal with that shit.
You got a lot to learn from the Chinese. Hey, like people say what they want to say about them, but you look at them and the progress that they've had
in the last 30 years, 20 years.
Yeah, like fuck you. There's no other country with that form of progress that's lifted themselves up from the position they were to where they are now. You know, so we definitely need to be learning something from them.
Yeah. What's funny though is that like we're told by like the news, which I don't watch them. You don't watch the news, do you? Surely not. But like what we're told is that like, oh, be scared of China and this and that. Like, oh, can't like the big one for me used to crack me up because I used to be a streamer on TikTok. I don't know if you know much about live streaming on TikTok and that, but I got like number one and all the rankings over there in Australia and New Zealand. Which, if you're in that system, it's pretty big. It's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So like over there, a lot of the American fam that would come through in our lives, they'd be like, "Oh, we won't be able to talk to you soon because like TikTok's gonna be banned," and I'm like, "Come on now, cuz." Like, well, why? Like, and then all my family or mates, they would be like, "Oh, I don't want to download TikTok because China's gonna spy on me." Like, bro, China makes the phones that you have TikTok on anyway. Before you get TikTok on there, why do you think they need TikTok to spy on your ass? They make the phone. The funny shit is too when they I don't know if you see, but they put TikTok in front of Congress and then they're talking about like all of this kind of spying shit, same shit that Facebook's got done for like years ago. You know, whatever. You know what I mean? They tell us to be scared of people like like TikTok or China, but like America, Australia, New Zealand, they owe China heaps of money. So shut up. You know what I mean? Like you get out of here, cuz you're still getting shit made of. They can't be that bad. It's all a fucking lie. Oh, getting visualization. What's life like in 10 years' time for Shawty Pestilence? Or whatever your name is, which I know, but I'm not gonna say.
So 10 years, it's hard to say for me personally. Only because I mean, like me and my partner, like, we're still really young, and we've got a lot of things we want to accomplish, and there's a lot of things on the board. It's just as to what we end up, pursuing is another thing. But if I were to just simplify it, my kids will be nearly teenagers by then. Like, hopefully, I'll be living my life. Like, I think a bit more financial stability is definitely within 10 years reach, But yeah, as far as specifics, I can't really vision, I just have certain things we're aiming for, but nothing specific. Oh no, kids will be older by then, and I'm doing what I want. Like,
Yeah, I like it. Any advice for any young mothers out there that are in your position that are raising children, or even maybe fathers that are doing the same sort of job, trying to do it? But I know that it's like focusing on mothers in particular because I know postpartum is a big thing for mothers. I don't know if you've experienced it, but all that kind of shit. So, any advice?
so I'd say yeah. I think my main thing is do what it feels right for your child. You know, there's you see a lot of stuff on the internet, videos and whatnot saying a child needs this or you need to be doing this for your child. And I mean, I do agree with it to a certain extent, as long as the individual understands what is benefiting their child and what is detrimental to their child. And well, but as long as you're within, you know, that good side, do what you reckon. And I think having confidence as a mother really plays a big part. And I'm not speaking confidence in the sense that your confidence being around other mothers or fitting in with cliques of, you know, generally see as a mother with other young children. I think in the confidence with being sure of what you're teaching your children, what you're exposing them to. And just having confidence in yourself in the job that you're doing. You know, because I see, and I've got mates of young kids as well, and they're like, oh, well, this child's doing this or this child's not doing this. My child, where should my child be placed, you know, on the line of learning or whatnot? And it's like, the issue with that is I feel like as parents, we put a lot of trust into schooling in the system, which not necessarily is a bad thing, but I don't think people actually realize how much you can actually teach your child at home, you know, just by stepping up and putting yourself in the role of the educator for them.
Preach to him, sister.
Yeah. No, but that is a big thing for me, is educating your children before school. And that can be in any way, whether that be, I don't know, reading or maths, or want to teach them cultural stuff or whatever. I think just, that realizing that you can actually provide your child with so much that you think you can't. It's a big game changer, you know, because I've got a mate with her daughter's the same age as my son, and she goes, well, how does your son know this stuff? And I was like, because I sit down for hours a day and I teach him this stuff. And she's like, oh, well, you know, like, should I try that? And she gave it a crack, and then, you know, sure enough, her daughter's learning all these new things that sometimes her older children aren't even being exposed or grasping the full concept of at school, you know. And that's saying something there, you know, like if you take certain things into your own hands, I think you'll be very surprised with yourself.
Yeah, I think that, and that sort of speaks to what I was talking about before. And I speak about it a lot. Like, I think people are like, "Oh, you don't like agree with education." No, I just understand that the system is there. Like, it's a system thing, right? The system was created to make robots to work in factories. Literally, that's what the education system is. So, if you rely solely on the education system to teach your children, you know what I mean, then that's all they're gonna learn. And a lot of the shit that you need in life isn't taught in school. You know what I mean? Like, literally, what the fuck? I didn't learn fucking, to be honest, I didn't learn fucking nothing from school that I needed in life. Like, you know what I mean? And yeah, if their education is predicated on only the teachers that you send them to school with, you know what I mean? Whether it's public or even private, even if you pay for private education, you know what I mean? Still, you know what I mean? Still, it's still the same system. It's just they might have less kids in the class. You know what I mean? And maybe they, you know, the teachers have some cooler degrees or some shit like that. I don't know how it works. But what I do know is that we should be our kids' educators first and foremost. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, your kids' role models, all that kind of shit. As you, if like people say, even like to me, how I do this, and you know what I mean, people be like, oh, like you're a role model. Man, no fucking role model for your kids, bro. You be a role model for your kid. You know what I mean? Fuck, you know what I mean? Even people will say, like, because, you know, I'll fucking swear, or, you know, fucking just say heaps of fucking outlandish shit, just shit that I'm thinking at the time. You know what I mean? It might not even be right. It might not even be right. Like, it might be right. I might think it's right then. Fuck, I might not think it's right tomorrow. You know what I mean? I might get new information. I reserve the right to change my opinion. opinion. But people say that, and they're like, oh, like you're gonna be, or like especially my family, they're like, oh, you're gonna be role models throughout the. I ain't gonna be fucking. Shall be me, man. You know what I mean? And if someone makes a stupid decision, like if someone's, like whether they're a teenager or even a young adult makes a decision based on what I fucking say, like you didn't do a good job as a fucking parent. You know what I mean? Like to tell you. No, but that's a beautiful thing that you said. This is, I think, we can all take some from their fathers and mothers, like you said. That was on. Did you always have that consciousness, or like of as a mother, or like because you said you've always enjoyed kids. So how did that? Well, did you have children like auntie? Were you auntie to kids before? What's the game?
Yeah. So auntie to kids. I think there wasn't much of my life where I wasn't looking after someone else's children. So so once I had my own, it was sort of almost like a second nature already. But I think what really pushed me being so big on child's education was, so during my teens, my other auntie, she'd moved in with me, and she's got 3 kids. So her husband had left her.
Oh, cousins, yeah.
Yeah. So they're my cousins, but they call me auntie because I'm like old. They're all like young. But point being, they're all homeschooled, and I see nothing wrong with homeschooling, but no disrespect. But when I seen the level that the children were at, I couldn't believe it. Like, these kids were like 7 years old, couldn't write their name, and stuff like that. And then for me, that was a wake up to see, like, if you don't teach your children how much, like, they will actually fall behind. And this isn't just based off education. Like, these are general life skills. Like,
yeah, writing.
You need to read, write. You need to be able to do these things just to function in society, And so, really stepping into that role of homeschooling them I think that was a starter for me when it came for the kids. Like, I mean, it was important beforehand, but then, seeing the effect of not being devoted, kind of what woke me up,
Yeah, that's pretty cool, sis. Hey, I just want to say, time is the most valuable commodity we have as human beings. The one thing we can never get back. We can always get back time. I mean, money. We can always get back things, but time spent is time lost. So, I just want to thank you for sharing, an hour and nearly 10 minutes, and also waiting for me. That you could have shared with your tamariki, sis. You could have spent with your children, with your husband, to be. We'll call them hubby anyway, because that's just the formality that's gotta happen. But y'all are locked in. So thank you, sis. Appreciate it.
Oh, good. Thank you for having me. Thanks. Thank you for reaching out. Having a chat, spicing up my day a bit, giving me something different to do. It was a main chat. It was good.
Doesn't have to be the last either, sis. Like, you know what I mean? Just one of many. When your album drops, we'll do one there. Fucking, when you're back in Perth, all that kind of stuff. We'll catch up for Fiji and the brother, the former rapper.
We'll suss something out. Definitely, we'll suss something out for future. But
yeah. Big love, sis. Appreciate you. You have an awesome rest of your evening and week, and